Folks, it wasn't a good week. Guys, 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 let's go to round 9. Let's go to round 9. Wow, that's broken. Uh, 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 anything, anything, sit out of the ordinary there? Traded him in all formats for 110. Looking good. Good trade in. We've got a discount premium. He's back. Ready to just pork up in the midfield. Next minute. The game starts. He gets a really good, nice looking kick. One beautiful kick. I think he's on. He's ready for a big game. Then he's running to the bench. He runs to the bench. Apparently, there's some kind of injury assessment he's undertaking. Oh God, he'll be all right. He'll be all right. Mills will be okay. He's a player. He's a gun. He'll come back from this. He never returns. Subbed out. The first 2 minutes of the game. I thought I did something also very smart by putting Hunt on the bench as an emergency in case he scored something like a 54. And I had cover with Sincotta, who's been doing well. He's been great cover. Against the Dogs, it looked like an easy 60-70 game from him at the least. 22. It's a genuine 150 points missing there from my team. Led. Bit of a niggle in the last quarter of the game. 16 minutes left in the last quarter. Gets a bump, feels a little sick, subbed out to be managed. A solid 50 points gone missing there. So, in essence, I've missed out on a 2,200. You could argue it's pretty fair that I could have got 2,200 this round. With those things not happening. Oh, yeah. Hollands. He was what... Against the Dogs, he was one of Carlton's best players. But Bossy, get him off. That's what he says. Subbed out. 3 subs, man. 3. 3 subs. 3. Come on now. What is that? 3. 3. On the ground. And I traded out Ashcroft. What was I thinking, man? Oh, dear. I can't make I make informed decisions, and every one of them goes the wrong way. Sliding doors, man. Whatever. Round 10, here we go. I was getting Stewart and Duncan this week. Duncan is out with a hamstring. So I am sort of letting loose now. I'm just going to get players that I think are cool and fun and love to watch and hopefully score well. Rochelle, I'm hoping can not show like a rookie's tank this second half of the year if I end up picking him. He's just really good when he's got this sort of half forward, half midfield attendance rate. He's just such a link-up player. Very similar to Dylan Moore, except he's just classier and but doesn't have the tank, like the work, not necessarily the work rate, but the ability to close out second halves of games, which is the only concern I have with Rochelle. He just looks like he's improved so much this year, and playing midfield, he's a beast in there. He tackles, he marks, gets possessions. He's going to be a gun, man. Man, seeing at least Chera got a 62 here, but I was so close to picking him ahead of Day when Day came back, but I went the straight bat there, and straight bats have failed. More, more risky picks have failed. The straight bat selection's not working as sad. Um, we should be looking more for round 13 buy players from the Suns and Cats. I'm borderline ready to trade McPherson and Hunt, but Hunt for one is playing the Hawks, so we should bounce back. He had almost 20 points in the first 2 minutes of the game last week, then just disappeared as Gold Coast just absolutely dominated. And because the Suns dominated, McPherson just wasn't getting those backline possessions because they were just throwing it forward quickly, goal after goal. So he didn't really get a chance to play that fantasy game that he has. And I think Atkins is sort of diminishing his return as well. So I'm thinking about chopping McPherson and Hunt. McPherson more so because he's so expensive now. I mean Hunt is as well, but maybe I'll hold him until his buy, but I'm not sure about that. So yeah, I want to try and find two guys in the 600 and 700k range just because I I struggle to want to have I don't really want to get rookies anymore, to be honest, unless there's one like Fahi if he's named maybe, but I am just looking at trying to get two not mid prices but borderline premiums for the rest of the year. Just with how my team's structured because like I do have all these mid prices that are fully priced now that I can now start to trim and switch to undervalued premiums for the rest of the year. Um, yeah, man, this game. Errol Goulden's dominating. It's unfortunate he just went so big in preseason now because he would have been under 10% owned to start the year without that 160, and now he's just showing that ceiling that he did have in preseason, just racking everything up. Couldn't tell anyone what trade targets would be besides anyone from round 13, to be honest. Like, I think the ultimate theory, because of this round 13 buy with two teams, it's something that hasn't happened yet. In fantasy, having 8 players, yeah, 8, because during the buys, only your highest 18 players score. You only need 18, and there's a 30-man squad, so theoretically 12 players from round 13 means you will definitely have, if all of your players are playing, 12 players from round 13 means you will definitely have 18 each round, not even bringing into the equation trades. Because 12 players from round 13, right? So unless you have like all your entire squads in like round has the round 12 buy or something, I just don't think it's possible. You only need 6 players from each buy if you have 12 in round 13, if my maths is correct there. But that's difficult to do. To think who you would have to try and get in: Fiorini, Anderson, maybe McPherson, but I'm looking to trade him out. Stewart, can't get Duncan now. I do like Tanner Bruin because he's playing midfield time. I guess you could go Jeremy Cameron. Matt Rowell looks like decent value for the time being. Will Powell, Rory Atkins still, even though he has job security issues. I wonder really if that's the best play you can do. Do you want to do someone like Isaac Smith? Probably not, but he's averaging 80. There's just a lot of players from the Cats that have to have more usage with Duncan out and like the entire Cats midfield being out. Atkins is another one I'm interested in. Holmes maybe has more usage. Blitzars has to have a lot of usage now. Yeah, Atkins there. Does Zach Guthrie get an improvement with no Duncan for 2 weeks? Does Tui fit? with no Duncan for 2 weeks? Does Parfitt have a more of a midfield role? Not Nevitt's another one to look at. He's a decent cash cow. Scored a 70. He looks pretty good. And from the Cats, sorry, from Suns. Like I said, Rao. I'm not too sure when Weller is back. Maybe Swallow if he keeps this midfield role. Probably not. Ellis needs to show a score, but I'm very surprised at how badly he's been doing this year because he's a decent fantasy player. Probably don't want to go to someone like Lukosius. Like I said, Atkins. Davies is a sort of interesting one. He's getting midfield time, but not really that much. Humphrey's going to be generating cash. He's one to look at. So you could get to 12 guys if you really tried. It's around 10 now, so you can get theoretically 2 this week. You have 4 round 11. You have 6 into round 12. But that's a bye, so you can get 7. So you theoretically could get 7 more Geelong or Gold Coast players before they have their bye, which would likely, if you're struggling with planning for the buys, that is your best option, just to target those players. But after what happened to me this week, I'm just getting Kennedy's playing midfield clock. I might switch him out though because his job security isn't that great, but he is a decent fantasy scorer. And I just love watching Rochelle as a player. It's becoming that part of the season for me where it's like, can I improve? I mean, I have the players that I can switch out to get premiums for a good second half of the year after the buys, but it's demoralizing getting a 3 from from Callum Mills, man. It's frustrating. It is frustrating. It's just an annoying round. Jack McRae as well. Oh my golly. What an absolute bevoing. Might get forward status. He's very close to getting forward status as well, which is good and sad. Look on the bright side. Looking at teams, there wasn't really anyone very interesting that I noticed out or in. Christian Salem back is interesting one to watch, maybe after his bye. Aaron Hall. Tom Powell's an interesting one. He should get midfield clock. And Will Phillips, Wardlaw as well, with no LDU. That's one to be interested in. Andrew's going to play if he was the guy you've been loopholing. Nothing interesting with the Crows Dogs game. Yeah, there's the Mitch Duncan out. Not much. Thompson Down's an okay scorer. Ridley's back. Kane Baldwin held his spot with Ridley back, which is interesting. He's playing in the back line, so he's actually a decent rookie to have on ground because he's got a decent fantasy role. Probably don't want to have too much stocks in Samson Ryan with Nankervis back now. It'll be interesting to see who gets the benefit of Hopper being out in the centre for Richmond. Probably Shai Bolton, maybe Dusty could be back to his best, who knows. Campbell Chester looks like he's back. A few interesting names for the Eagles. Hoping Fergus Green isn't back just yet because he's going to go down in price, but maybe I just hold him over the buys. Darcy Cameron's back. Finlay McRae's nearly ready to play a game, it looks like. Gresham back, and yeah, Fahy there. He's the most interesting one. If he gets a game, I mean, even if he's named against Saints, it's probably a good one to have on field because the Saints are giving up so many points at the moment, specifically for backline players. But yeah, that's it. That's it for this video, guys. I'll have more energy if I have a good round for once. So we'll see you next week. Bye.